I don't know who needs to hear this, but I just wanted to let you guys know that I think chasing after progress faster is overrated. As a coach, before I shifted to more competition focused clients, I used to get a lot of people asking me stuff like, how fast can I lose 20 pounds? Can I lose 10 pounds in 3 weeks? How fast will it take for me to see progress? And when I tell them my answer, when I tell them that if you get me as your coach, you're probably not gonna get the fastest results, they either stop replying or they move on to the next possible coach willing to take on these unreasonable demands. I just think more people need to understand that getting your results faster does not mean you're getting better results. I understand if you're just trying to get into shape for a certain event, if you have a set deadline already. But if you're trying to chase long-term physique-oriented goals, you really need to be a lot more patient than you think. It's actually easy to get you to lose, say, 10 pounds in a month. All I have to do as your coach is to give you, say, a 1,500 calorie diet, make you do around 2 hours of cardio a day, 20,000 steps. You might even lose like 20 pounds that way, but there's really just so much you need to think about. If you're getting me as a coach, you need to know that I pay attention to the details quite a lot. So no, I am not going to let you go on an aggressive deficit if I know you can't even track your macros properly. It doesn't happen as often as it used to, but I still get clients who ask me like, hey coach, I've been with you for a month, I've been with you for, say, 2 months, and I still haven't seen significant progress in my physique. Sometimes they don't really see it in their physique, but when you ask them like, hey, how's that injury that's been around for the past few years, and they tell me it's gone. When I ask them how they feel about their lifting, they say they feel much more confident with the movements. When I look at their training logs, I see that they've already increased the number of reps, the loads they're using by a significant amount. Or when I check their trackers and I see that, they've probably lost very little, maybe like half a pound to a pound, but they've already been able to increase their calorie intake. So sometimes when you're looking for progress, it doesn't always come in the form of the weight on the scale or how you look. There are just so many things you need to consider when you're talking about metrics for progress. And I think a lot of people miss that. Now, the reason that I prefer to start most of my clients quite slow, especially if they're relatively new, if they're not that experienced with training, if they're not that experienced with nutrition, we actually spend a lot of time figuring out the execution, learning how to do a certain movement properly, trying to prevent any previous injuries from coming back, and just trying to give them more confidence in their lifting. I also find it beneficial to slow things down because I think there's a need for people to build up their habits first, and building up your habits, that's not the fastest thing to do. I actually don't prefer having my clients suddenly go out and do, say, 10, 15,000 steps when they're only doing around 2,000, go on a 1,000 calorie deficit, or to start eating more whole foods, trying to get more sleep, while at the same time trying to change their training from their usual bro style of training to something more focused on quality. So yeah, I mean, with an approach like this, it might take you a couple more months to start seeing the progress. But what I like about it is that after you've gone through your first 3 months, or after you've gone through your first 6 months, is that you tend to come out of it more independent, and with your habits in place, it's a lot more sustainable. You'll find yourself being able to manipulate the training variables, to manipulate your nutrition with a lot more ease in the long run. Another reason why you might want to consider slowing things down is that rushing too much usually leads to less sustainable results. So this happens when you're crash dieting. It happens all the time. You lose 10, 20, 30 pounds, but once you stop the diet, once you stop your coaching, usually blow back up. So again, just being able to slow things down. You give yourself more time to adjust. You give yourself more time to get used to your habits. You get used to your new weight. You get used to the new amount of calories. So yeah, that's it. If you're rushing all the time, you're not gonna be able to enjoy the process as much. You're not gonna be able to learn as much from it either. So if you like this video, if you learned something, leave a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next one.